Hello and welcome to our new reading session from the same story, Goodbye to the Moon, but this is part 6. And by the end of this session, you should be able to answer the questions from the worksheet. And this is the story cover as usual. So let's look at the story elements. What is the name of the author? She is Monica Hughes, and the illustrator, the person who drew these fantastic images, he is Mick Collis. And what was the genre? While we were reading the story, found that it was all scientific imagination, so the genre is scientific fiction. And then let's look at the setting, where and when. Of course, where was on the spaceship and then on the Earth. Mind that nothing really happened on the moon. He was only remembering things on the moon. But the story starts while he is in the International Space Station. Okay, and when? Of course, in the future. So what about the theme? It is space and time. And what was the author's purpose from writing this story? She wanted to entertain. Please pause the video and write these answers in your booklet. So now what about the characters? We have a main character and a minor character. Both are the son and the father. Kepler and his father, what was his name? George Masterman. Okay, the narrator, if you remember when Kepler was talking about himself and what he feels and what happened to him, he was using I and he was talking about himself. So it's the first person narrator, and his name, or the narrator's name, is Kepler, Masterman. The moral, you can figure out many lessons to learn from this story in your life. Here is one of them. Focusing on the future helps us imagine new possibilities, and it should be helps. Okay, so focusing on the future helps us imagine new possibilities, because if he was focusing only on the past, he wouldn't have seen the beauty on the earth when he arrived. And here is the close paragraph, and these are the target words. We have combustion, means burning, and waning means decreasing in size or shape. Traverse means to cross or walk across something. Waft means the moving of the smell in the air. And dingy means dirty or dim or gloomy. And negotiate means to try to find a solution. Okay, so the first one, her interest in history is becoming lesser. So we have here the clue word, which is lesser. So lesser means waning. The waste of plastics and other chemicals greatly destroys the ozone layer. So plastics and chemicals, we are talking about the combustion of fossil fuel. Number 3, vegetables stocked in a week lose their freshness and become dingy. And number 4, invaders, yes, you can also underline this, lose their freshness. This is the meaning of dingy, one of the meanings. Number 4, invaders what seas and mountains to get to different places. So invaders what? Like seas and mountains, and they are getting to different places. These are people who traversed the seas and the mountains. Number 5, I tried to what my plans with my mother, but she didn't want to talk to me. So when you talk to someone to convince him of your plans, you want to negotiate. And number 6, in spring, I can smell, this is something related to the smell, so it's a waft. These are also about the meanings. So we have number 1, the guest's suit was dingy. So what is the meaning of dingy? It means dirty. And more emphasis. Number 2, the explorers traversed the marshy lands. So what is the meaning of traverse? We just said it now. It means cross. He traversed in the past, crossed in the past. Number 3, the light was slowly waning. We said that waning means decreasing. Please, in each slide, pause the video and write down the answers. That motor, number 4, that motor works because of combustion. So what is the meaning of combustion? We said the combustion means burning. So it means internal burning. And then let's go to the comprehension questions. Number 5. What is the main reason that Kepler reacted so strongly to the water on Earth when he saw it from space? Do you remember we talked a lot about this sight because it was spectacular to him? So what is the reason? Earth had so much water that it was slopping over with it. By the way, we are asking about the main reason, not any reason. Yeah, this number 1 could be, but is it the main reason? Let's see other answers. He was impressed by the steely shimmer of the Atlantic Ocean. Yes, this was also in the passage. But was this the main reason? Water was very precious and valuable on the moon. This one is very interesting because he usually all the time Kepler was comparing between Earth and the moon, and he talked a lot about all this water on this Earth, on this planet, and they have to take money from us to charge us for every drop of water they send to us. And so I think that this is the answer. Before then, he had seen Earth only in photos. So I think C is the main reason. Number 6, which of these comparisons did Kepler not make between Earth and the moon people? So this is not make. He made a lot of comparisons. But this question asks about the comparison that he didn't make. Earth people talked more loudly. He said that. Earth people were less adventurous. Did he say that? Moon people dressed more crudely. Yes, he said that. Moon people lived less comfortably. Yes, he said that because of the air and the water and everything there. So the answer is letter B, because he didn't say that Earth people are less adventurous. So number 7, in the story, a reporter asked Kepler's father whether he thought the differences between Earth and the moon people were irreconcilable. So what is the meaning of irreconcilable? We talked about this before, and irreconcilable means that they have differences, and these differences were not to be solved. So not able to be resolved, impossible to conceal, difficult to understand, unable to find a cause. It means not able to be resolved. What is the least likely reason that Kepler's father casually gave Kepler his arm to walk across the landing pad? Mind that he's asking the least reason means that it was not a reason at all. Okay, to keep Kepler get away from the crowd of reporters. Maybe this was a reason, but we want the least likely reason. To help Kepler walk in case he still felt sick. Yes, this might be a reason, but not the least. To show Kepler the way across the landing pad. Yes, I think that this was not his reason at all, to show him the way. Number 9, Kepler stopped feeling inferior to Earth people when he, yes, we wrote this question in the book, and the reason is when he rode the magnet train, because he thought that now moon people are not less in importance than Earth people, and they have made great discoveries on the moon. Which of these events is most important to the plot? The plot means the events of the story, and we want the most important. You have to focus on the question. Kepler was startled by a seagull on Earth. Was this most important? It was one of the details. Kepler's mother sang him songs about Earth. This was also one of the details. Kepler was amazed by Earth fairy. This was a very great thing in the plot. Or Kepler fell asleep on the way to Earth. So the answer is C. A flashback in the story was Kepler's description of what? Flashback means that he remembered something and he talked about it and told all that happened. He talked about Anne, his friend, when he was bidding her goodbye or farewell. So it's the farewell to Anne. Here these are the questions. Please write them in your book. How is Kepler's view of Earth similar to your view of the moon? Yes, we have explained this many times. Okay, so Kepler's view of Earth was as a shining silver disk that waxed and waned. The view of the moon from the Earth is very similar. It is a silver disk that waxes and wanes from crescent to full and back. We have even put pictures about this. So why does Kepler leave one viewing room and then go into another? This was when he was sitting in the space station. Kepler leaves one viewing room and then goes to another because from the first viewing room he can look out at the Earth, which is his destination. And from the second viewing room he can look out at the moon, his home, and say goodbye to it. Number 3, which events described on page 128? I think this number is not correct now. Is out of sequence. Which events described on one of the pages is out of sequence, taking Kepler back into the past. What is that called? Yes, what that's called when he was talking about his friend Anne and talking about his farewell to her, and then this is called a flashback. His farewell with Anne actually takes place before he leaves for the Earth, before he leaves the moon. This is a flashback that interrupts the sequence of events in the present. Thank you.